My name is Blaine Henningsen, and I'm the Assistant Commissioner for College and Career Readiness at DESE. And it's my pleasure to bring to you today some conversations about career pathways programming. And as our speaker today told us, we need to unlearn some of the things that we assume are true. And if you think about it, what we've been living with for the last several years is that all kids have to go to college to be successful. And that's not necessarily the case. There are lots of opportunities out there in the world today, and especially in Missouri. We're going to highlight some opportunities that are out there, and we're going to have some people talk to you from the programs that are out there to present some information for you today. Let's see if we can get this going. There we go. So why are we here? The number one goal at DESE is that all students will graduate from high school, college, and career ready. And what we're hearing from business and industry folks is that we're not getting the job done. This is a quote from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch from a couple of years ago. St. Louis Community College puts together a huge forum of business and industry folks in the region, and it's called the St. Louis Workforce Report or whatever. And they had this conversation with workforce people in 2015. The same conversation was held last year. And a couple of years ago, the Missouri State Chamber of Commerce conducted a statewide survey. They hired the Gallup organization to come in and do a statewide survey of business and industry leaders. They had thousands of phone interviews, and they had one-on-one interviews with the 50 CEOs of the largest employers in the state of Missouri. And one of the questions they asked them was, are Missouri schools doing a good job preparing kids for the workforce? And as you can see, only 15% of those folks in that poll answered in the affirmative. That's the bad news. The good news is there are tremendous opportunities in Missouri right now. STEM occupations are red hot in Missouri, and we have lots of opportunities there. Half of those positions don't need a 4-year college degree. This is a headline from Kansas City from last year. Cerner is undertaking the largest economic development project in the history of the state of Missouri by building this campus where the old Bannister Mall used to be, if you're familiar with that. And they've committed to hiring 16,000 new people in the Kansas City area in the information technology industry. In St. Louis, this is a slide from the Construction Forum group that meets down there. They need skilled trade workers right now in St. Louis. They need to double their workforce just to meet the requirements of the construction contracts that have already been written for the next couple of years. The problem in this industry is that most of the folks are aging, and as you can see, many are aging out. Many of the baby boomers are aging out of the business and industry. And in the United States, there are 31 million careers, 31 million jobs in skilled occupations in the construction industry. The last bit of information I want to share with you here is the Federal Reserve Organization conducted a study a couple years ago of the 100 largest metropolitan areas in the United States, and looking at opportunity occupations. An opportunity occupation defined by these folks is a job that makes at least the median national average salary of almost $36,000 and does not require a 4-year college degree. When they did their study, look what they found. Kansas City is the #1 location in the United States for these kinds of occupations, and St. Louis is 4th in the country. There are lots of occupational opportunities out there for students in these middle school careers, if you will. Here's some information about Missouri's workforce. As you see, we have lots of middle skilled positions open for those people that don't require a 4-year college degree, but we're a little heavy in the other areas. We have more people than we need in the low-skilled jobs and the higher-skilled jobs. So the jobs are there, the opportunities are there. We know that we need to do a better job. Most people in the United States, the Pew Research Center did a study recently, and most of the people in the United States say it's the job of K-12 education to help solve this problem for the country. That it's our job to prepare the workforce, and we in Missouri are really working closely with the governor's office, with economic development, with workforce development, with the Missouri Chamber, with all kinds of business and industry partners, trying to come up with a better way, a better plan to create an educated workforce for our state and to make it a better place to live for everybody. Michael Fullen, the researcher that we're very familiar with, says there's no silver bullet. It takes hard work of dedicated people to get this job done, and that's what we've done today. We have a panel of experts who are going to talk to you about 4 different ways to provide career programming in the state of Missouri. We have the Cape Girardeau Career and Technology Center will be here. Henry County, Windsor High School, if you're familiar with that, will be here. Afton will speak to us about their CAPS program, and Independence will talk to us about their academies. So we have asked a representative from each of these organizations to give you a brief background of the programming that they offer. And after all 4 have concluded their remarks, then we will take questions from the floor for them if you have some. So first up, we have Rich Payne, the director of the Cape Girardeau Career and Technology Center. Rich Payne. Let's have a round of applause for Rich. You want to bring your people up?
You didn't have to force that round of applause, but that's okay. Thank you. I have with me today some staff members that are also involved. Those of you that are leaders in this room also understand how important they are. Ms. Unger is my assistant director. Christy Unger, she's in charge of the secondary division at the Career Center. Ms. Peters, our counselor, and Ms. Charity Huff, our EMT instructor. So when I get stuck, they're going to bail me out. So let's talk a little bit about the Career and Technology Center and healthcare. One of the awesome things about Cape Girardeau, Missouri, if you've never been there, is we have a medical mecca of 2 hospitals and thousands of doctors like you have no idea. And we have more auxiliary medical service opportunities that are available in our region and that are wonderful. So we have focused on that because of the workforce development piece. At the end of the rainbow, there's an opportunity for these students. So in our healthcare program, you gonna click that? Or am I clicking that? Who's clicking that? Yeah, boss, take there. Now you're smiling, that's not funny. There we go. Okay, you hold it. One of the things that we did, we were actually very, very, very fortunate because at the Career and Technology Center, we fall on a lot of different sides of the equation. We fall on the higher ed side sometimes with what we do with things, on the DESE side with what we do with things, economic development, workforce development, and all those components that are there. We were awarded an Innovative Campus grant in conjunction with Southeast Missouri State University that we were given some funds to actually get these programs up and running. But the EMT medical technician program that Ms. Huff is involved in, this is our 3rd year, 4th year going into it now. 3rd year going into it, and we're now training high school seniors as EMT. We started out, we had our traditional health occupations that a lot of your career centers have, but we went ahead and expanded it beyond that with the EMT program, and we are the only career center in the state of Missouri that actually starts seniors in high school in the LPN program. The reason behind that is because we had in our health occupations program approximately 80 to 90 students annually. Well, we were finding that a majority of those were very focused human beings, and they knew that they wanted to go into nursing, or they knew they wanted to become an EMT or a paramedic or a firefighter with that training. So we took that focus and we did it. Now, those of you that want to start a high school LPN program at your career centers, the State Board of Nursing will approve it, okay? I was deathly afraid, and this lady right here was so shocked that they approved it in less than 5 minutes. It's an innovative turn, but why make them wait until they graduate? So I'll stop that. The other beauty that we have is the ability to go into programming beyond high school, okay? So our post-secondary, we have a CNA program, a post-secondary EMT program, a post-secondary paramedic program. So they can be a high school senior, go into the EMT program, graduate, go into the paramedic program immediately after high school, and they're ready to go into that particular program. We have a physical therapy assistant program. We have 2 forms of practical nursing that we offer during the daytime and at night at our program, and also a respiratory therapy program that's available. We will be expanding that come fall in conjunction with our partner, Mineral College, because we are not a degree-granting institution, but we will be working with them to have the LPN to RN Bridge program at the Cape Girardeau Career Center, and also we will also a pharmacy tech program available at the Career Center. Now, how do we get them into that pathway? You'll see on the next slide is how we prime that pump, and start at the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade with healthcare summer camps, obvious tours that a lot of you send your students to at your career and technology centers. But then we also have exploratory courses for that 9th and 10th grade student so they can take a peek at it. We also would take that to a next level with an advanced that Ms. Huff teaches. And then one of the biggest things was the LPN program. We started that high school program. Dr. Welker, my superintendent, continued to support us. We only had 4 or 5 students in it for 2 years. Now, in reality, you as a superintendent look at your career center director if you host one of those, or you look in general at any course that you're only going to have 5 students in. You're probably going to cut it because of dollars and cents. He allowed it to continue to grow. We will have 12 this year. Full-time, they meet the exact same entrance standards that our adults to become into that program. So it's a wonderful thing. I think one of the things that we do with that, and one of the things you need to focus on when in school districts, and Blaine touched on that, but it's one of the things as superintendents we don't think about a lot of times. When I became a career center director, it became my sole focus, is workforce development. At the end of the rainbow, we want to move a student along a continuum to employability, and that's what we do. We focus on it in this particular career health pathway with what we do because of the economic driver in our region. So that's our focus, that's our presentation, and I'm done. Who's next?
Thank you. Thanks, Rich. Thank you. And he made a real good point, because when kids are focused, when they see relevance to the education, it makes a big difference in the way they perform. And so these kids are really motivated to get the job done. They see what's going to happen at the end of the line. It makes a big difference to everybody involved. Our next speaker comes to us from Henry County, R1, discussing the programming at Windsor High School, Dr. Christy Lorenz and her group.
Good afternoon. My name is Christy Lorenz, and I serve as the superintendent of the Henry County R1 School District. I'm also a proud member of our STEAM team. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Mrs. Sherry Foster, our STEAM chairperson, business teacher, and A+ coordinator, and Windsor High School students Tiffany Crawford and Josie Howe. Thank you all for coming today with us. Unfortunately, Randy Lee, the Human Resources Director for Gardner Denver, one of our education partners, couldn't be with us here today. I would also like to introduce, I believe he might be in the back of the room, our board president, Mr. L.D. Lewis, who is here today supporting us and who continues to be a strong advocate for district STEAM integration. Also, a big thank you to DESE for the opportunity to participate in the Career Pathways Grant Program. And that's why we're here today, is to share what we did through this grant program. The mission of our newly formed Windsor High School STEAM team was to gain insight into the areas of science, technology, engineering, the arts, and math through the information technology career pathway. Secondly, we were hoping to identify high-demand STEAM careers and what skill sets and work traits our students needed to develop to be career-ready. Today, we would like to share highlights of our STEAM journey, what we learned, and how we are implementing this new learning in our instructional practices. We began with a fall tour of Energist, a global leader in the manufacturing reserve power and batteries industry. Through this tour, our team learned that industries are looking for employees with strong math, science, technology skills, a commitment to quality control, a strong work ethic, the ability to be problem solvers, and to be independent decision makers. Next, part of our team participated in the Genius Hour training with Emt. This training provided valuable insight into the importance of having students research something they are passionate about to promote creativity, engagement, and ownership of their learning. Our team also had the opportunity to visit the Missouri Innovation Center and learned about what opportunities there were for students in the areas of life sciences, biomedical, and engineering. The next leg of our journey provided team members the opportunity to participate in Ement's computer coding workshops. This invaluable training emphasized the importance of teaching our students the language of coding through critical thinking, problem solving, and learning how to address cause and effect situations. Next, a visit to our local Windsor, Missouri escape room, the Katy Rock Escape, was next on our agenda. Our STEAM team participated in this collaborative problem-solving activity to learn how we ourselves could further develop problem-solving skills. We also supported a new local business and learned how they implemented their business plan. Our winter industry tours began with a visit to Pro Energy, who provides worldwide innovative services and equipment for the energy industry. We observed firsthand science and technology at work through their joint commitment to quality service and to satisfied customers. The next winter tour was made to Gardner, Denver, who's a leading global provider of airflow control technology. The mission of this industry was to develop solutions through technology enhancements, again, to increase efficiency, to harness the power of technology, and to lower energy expenditures. Our final winter industry tour was to Cerner Corporation World Headquarters. The mission of Cerner, of course, is to build intelligent solutions for the healthcare industry. Truly, our team witnessed the impact of collaboration, nurturing creativity, and developing a think tank approach to problem solving. We learned of numerous high school and college student job shadowing and internship opportunities for our student learners. As a result of our collective learning, the STEAM team was compelled to take action. We began with introducing the concept of Genius Hour into our classrooms. We taught our junior high keyboarding students how to code. Our teachers strive to serve more as facilitators of learning and allow students more autonomy and thus more ownership of their learning. We also created a makerspace in the high school media center so we could nurture hands-on learning opportunities for our students, again, promoting creativity, innovation, and problem identification and solving skills. A tremendous community partner, State Fair Community College, stepped forward and provided a donation of a 3D printer to be added to our makerspace. You see, our creative juices continued to flow at Windsor High School as we were named the state Missouri winner of the Samsung Solve for Tomorrow competition. Our students created a prototype called the T3, which is a bike fix-it solar-powered charging station for the Katy Trail. I'm proud to say that we will this fall put that on the trail. Windsor High School was awarded over $25,000 in technology tools for this significant accomplishment. This spring, our team hosted a community STEAM night festival to share what our students and staff have learned about the importance of STEAM integration, emerging career opportunities, and the necessary skills that we know our students need to learn. Students, staff, and parents alike participated in STEAM learning challenges. The positive synergy of our STEAM team continues to inspire our students, our staff, and community. We have big plans for this coming school year. Further implementation of STEAM activities that include breakout boxes, computer coding challenges, robotics, and we're proud to say we are the recipients of a National Math and Science College Readiness Grant, where for the first time ever, Windsor High School will be able to offer advanced placement courses. Very happy. Thank you. Perhaps what is most exciting to see is the positive energy, the teamwork, the creativity, and commitment of our staff in promoting STEAM integration. They truly are embracing our district motto to imagine, inspire, and innovate on the road to Greyhound greatness. You know, George Couros, in his book, The Innovator's Mindset, speaks of the importance of empowering learning, unleashing talent, and leading a culture of creativity. According to Couros, inspiration is one of the most critical needs we need to be helping our students with and addressing in our students. Couros also challenges educators to spark a curiosity that empowers students to learn on their own, to wonder, to explore, and to become leaders. I would like to conclude by sharing a powerful quote by Couros, and it's good food for thought for all of us. We forget that if students leave school less curious than when they started, we have failed them. To succeed, students will need to know how to think for themselves and adapt to constantly changing situations. We heard that from our keynote speaker today, didn't we? Instead of just hearing about the impact of STEAM from myself or from the thoughts of author George Couros, I can't wait for you to hear from our students during the panel discussion. Thank you.
And since she brought it up, Christy and Rich both have been working with our Missouri Career Pathways program, and we're going to have a presentation tomorrow. You might want to step in on our Missouri Career Pathways program, and there will be a STEAM presentation also that Tom Tobias will be leading, I believe, with Liberty School District. So there's some exciting things going on tomorrow in the meeting, the breakout sessions. Make sure you get there. Our third speaker comes from the Afton School District in the St. Louis metropolitan area, Dr. Travis Brock. Take your time. Right on the right.
All right, I wanted to take a minute to introduce some of the folks that are up here. I'm Travis Brock, Assistant Superintendent with Afton. I also work with the St. Louis CAPS program. We also have the Superintendent of Afton, Steve Brotherton. We also have our Career and Technical Education Coordinator, Marilyn Allen, who's also going to be serving as one of our CAPS instructors this year. We also have our Medicine, Healthcare, and Bioscience instructor, Tim Knox, previously high school science teacher in Afton. And we have one of our key business partners for our healthcare course, Dawn Wadawa-Bennett, who's a nurse and clinical education specialist with St. Anthony's Hospital. So hope you guys get a chance to hear from them later on today. Wanted to talk a little bit about a new partnership that's been formed with several schools in the St. Louis area. So Afton being one of those, but also the Melville School District, Bayless School District, and this year we have a student from Rockwood that's joining us. So we're forming a new partnership to bring some new opportunities for students in the area. And kind of our tagline for St. Louis CAPS is we're fast forwarding kids beyond college to test drive what they think their future is. And so if you look at these pictures up here, one of the premises in doing that is we get them to learn directly from the people that are already doing those professions as much as possible. We'll talk a little bit more about how we do that. We look at the State of St. Louis Workforce Report annually, and we take a really good interest in where are there jobs that they can't find the talent. So where is that skill gap? And in St. Louis, the things that I have listed up there are where those opportunities are right now. And what our challenge was is how do we take all of those and maybe package that into coursework that we could deliver for our students. And so we've come up with 3 different courses. We're currently implemented for the past 2 years. The first 3 courses We're looking to implement that fourth course in the 18-19 school year. And so the delivery of those courses is something that's somewhat familiar to school districts. Our juniors and seniors that want to engage in this, it either happens during the morning or the afternoon. They stay connected to their home high school, but then when they're in their CAPS course, they're away from their high school, interacting with our business partners in various ways. I'll talk a little bit more about that. We really focus on professionalism almost just as much as we focus on continuing to acquire academic or content knowledge. And so I think that's a very distinct and intentional thing that we try to deliver to our students. And when it comes to the types of things that we want to deliver to students in this course, we don't just sit around as educators and come up with the curriculum. We go to our business and industry partners. They tell us what they need to see. And so when it comes to the responses they give, it aligns perfectly with the State of St. Louis Workforce Survey. So on the next two slides, I'm going to show you some of the most common responses that employers say are shortcomings of current applicants. But I want you to think for a minute. What do you think is going to make that list? You don't have to answer. I just want you to think about it, because I guarantee you'll probably go 5 for 5 on this next slide if you think about what they're saying. These are the top responses. And so not only do we see that in a report, we hear that from the business partners we work with, and this is what we deliver to our students through interactions with our business partners. We tell them this is what they say is lacking. So if you want to get those skills, we're going to help you with that. So everything we do revolves around helping them get better at these things. Here's a couple more. So if you round out the top 10, here's the rest of them. And so we're very intentional about helping the kids. Largely, these things fall into that category of professionalism. And so we're very intentional about working on those things. We do that by having great business partners that allow us to truly integrate into their environment. So Dawn is with us from St. Anthony's Medical Center. They have afforded us some great opportunities for our students to truly feel like they're a part of that environment on a regular basis. We also have a local co-working space that we spend a lot of time at with the students, and then a local bank and several higher education facilities also allow our kids to truly step outside of the traditional high school school and get into the workplace. Next thing I want to talk about is some key things: partnerships, real world, and intense. So we form really good partnerships not only with our business partners, but we're also trying to strike new partnerships with our area schools so that this can come as something that's available to all students in the area. This is a picture just to kind of give you some examples. This is the owner of one of the fastest growing marketing companies in St. Louis, and he allows our kids to sit in on his staff meetings, among other things. And so we've really done as much as we can to cultivate those partnerships. Likewise, everything we want the kids to experience is real world. So they're in these places, learning directly from the medical professionals. That's what we mean by real world. We don't want anything to be theoretical. We want them to experience it firsthand. It's also a very intense experience. So when you think about every day for 3 hours a day for an entire year, those things stick. So those skills that I showed you, our students are able to acquire those skills because they do it over and over and over in lots of different unscripted situations. I want to talk a little bit about how we approach our business partners. So we are very intentional about not asking them for anything other than a handshake. And what that means is we want to try to partner with them. And we do that by changing the conversations. Instead of asking the typical questions like, could you give us some money? We kind of need some equipment. We're very intentional about asking them, what can our students deliver for you? We've got some really talented students. They'd like some real world experience. What do you have for them? because we would like them to take a crack at it. And it turns out the business partners are more than happy to say, you know what, I've been trying to work on this for a long time. Why don't your kids take a crack at producing something for us? And we've been fortunate not just to work with people in St. Louis, but even outside the state and deliver projects to them that are truly up and running right now. We also are very intentional about not just recycling these projects from one year to the next. So no project will be just exactly the same. We'll try and work with different business partners or work on different projects, because if we've done a good job, that's no longer a need for that business partner. That's done. We need to move on and find something different. We also push our students to find new ideas, be creative, be innovative. This young lady created all-natural deodorant. She went through 2 prototypes. It's usable. She did a lot of research, and that's just one example of someone who followed their passion and created a new product. We also work with our medical centers. Turns out not just the business world has things they're struggling with, but medical centers have things they're struggling with. So we ask them, what could our kids think about that might end up leading to an improvement for you? And they give us things to do, but we also push our healthcare students to also be innovative and creative. So after they've observed a lot of things in the hospital that maybe don't seem to work quite as well, we push them. What would be your better idea? Could you make a prototype of that? And then ultimately, can you pitch that to professionals who can give you feedback? And it's this interaction with the professionals that really helps the students get a good sense of, how do I deliver professionalism? How do I build my network while I'm still in high school with professionals? And this leads to business partners giving our students opportunities that I would never believe were possible. And that happens through observations, job shadows, site visits, internships, and that's really the key ingredient, is they take things farther for the kids than really us as educators could ever possibly think about. We also are intentional about having our kids work in cross-curricular groups. So the business students do projects with the healthcare students. And this really cements how they have to manage their time, demonstrate teamwork, while also creativity and problem solving. When we come up with the curriculum, we don't just set that one time. Every year, we're asking business and industry partners, could we do something differently this year with the curriculum? Is there something new that we should be exposing our students to? So it never gets stale. The opportunities are always different every year. Some may stay the same, but we're really quick to change based upon that feedback. And then to end up, I wanted to give you a sense of, nowadays, it's important not just to connect with your local schools and your local business partners, but we're actually part of a national network. CAPS is 10 states, lots of programs, and it's definitely growing. Here's just a little short example in the last 4 years, how quickly this type of opportunity for kids is growing, not just here in Missouri, but across the nation. And so that's exciting for kids to be able to say, I literally can tap into a national network of students that are doing similar things to me. More locally, 2 years ago, we started this program in Afton with just students in Afton, and you can see last year we were able to partner with other districts and high schools, and we're on pace to do that yet again next year, which is very exciting for us. A lot of times people ask me what kind of kid wants to engage in CAPS. I really don't have a good answer because it's all kinds. So the best way I can usually answer that question is, here's some traditional academic indicators of students that are in a CAPS program. But then I'm also real quick to end with this next slide, which is, don't join a CAPS program just because you want a better ACT score. These are the things that our kids say they did not have when they joined the CAPS program. They were not confident talking to adults. They could not confidently give a presentation. They really weren't clear on what do you mean by professional communication. We weren't really aware of all the career opportunities in our area. So if you can see, they responded to those things very poorly at the beginning of the year. They said, we're not confident. But by the end of the year, one of the metrics that we look at is not only what have kids produced for projects, But how do they feel? Are they confident? Can they go into a room, give a presentation, shake someone's hand, and you would think they're already out of college because they're confident, they're professional, they know what it takes. And so these are some of the things that we really believe are why students would want to be part of this programming. Is they've already done some good things with traditional academics and indicators, but these are the things that I think our workforce is telling us are very important. So that's why we're trying to deliver that. Thank you.
Thanks, Travis. Our final speakers from the Independent School District, we have Superintendent Dr. Dale Harrell. Dale? I think you're up, ready to go. Right click.
New career academies being rolled out in the Independent School District.
And it's one of the first districts in the country with this program.
It's part of a Career Academies program. Independence High School students put their skills to work.
And the students are building more than just a home. They're building and booking up their resumes.
The good news is spreading about the career academies in the Independent School District.
Keep it up.
From bomb technicians, robotics, and engineering,
It's a good question.
to our ISD high school students working as crime scene investigators, journalists, and chefs in a professional kitchen. The Academies, the Independent School District, is an educational model in all ISD high schools for all students. The ISD is one of just 19 in the nation chosen for Next Generation Learning, and the only district in our area offering this college and career advantage. The Academy experience starts with every ISD student exploring career options throughout their freshman year and at the Freshman Career Fair.
A good opportunity to see what's actually out there in the workforce.
Students choose their academy: STEM, arts and education, business, industrial technology, and public service. And then they choose their pathway. Students still take all of their academic core classes. Compare this to a university system. At MU, for example, students might be in the College of Medicine or College of Engineering. Those are similar to our academy selections. Then students choose their major within that college. Those are our pathways, and as students can change their academy choice.
At the academies, I saw that they offer culinary. I thought that was great, and also offer business, which kind of go hand in hand.
Many students are also getting early college credit. The ISD is proud to offer nearly 100 dual credit courses with 400 college credit hours available. Think about that savings, thousands of dollars for each student and their family.
There's only going to be a huge advantage for me because not only because of the credit hours that I get, also just because of the experience I have, I feel as if I go to college, I could be ahead of most people in that class because most people do not get this opportunity.
Nearly 150 top area businesses have partnered with the ISD, advising curriculum, providing teacher externships, student internships, and guest lectures. Business partners including Cerner, Bayer, Burns McDonnell, Black & Veatch, The Royals, and Alexander Open Systems, to name a few.
Is very visionary. I think independent schools are doing things that I haven't seen in any other school district in the area. It'll have a tremendous economic impact on community.
I learned how to make floor plans. I've learned how to draw designs for houses, good designs. I've learned how to do all sorts of stuff in this class.
Elijah Brown planning to become an architect. He's getting hands-on experience in the Industrial Technology Academy, turning this once lighted house into a home and earning an industry-recognized credential. IRCs offered in each academy make ISD students more marketable and make them more money. ISD students are getting hands-on experiential learning opportunities in every academy.
I got to see what I had, spent hours laboring over computer, drawing pictures, and I actually got to see it. And that was a really unique experience because it wasn't like a classroom where you see the grade and it's awesome. It was actually, I could touch what I did. I did that. The textbook did not tell you that. And even if it did tell you that, it's nothing like actually experiencing it in person.
Just look at the student-run store, All Things Independence, on historic Independence Square, launched from the ground up by students.
To really have this as a class setting, to have the experience of working, managing, and all that, it's spectacular.
A new student-run store on the square in Independence will have its grand opening tomorrow.
You are going to be so impressed. This is all about high school students. The store is something they created from the ground up, and they are proud of it.
This has received lots of media attention and the attention of school districts around our area and across the country wanting to create a similar experience.
I've been teaching for 27 years, and I think having a real-life project to work on, I've noticed that the kids are just so much more excited.
They're getting exposure to all of those things, so that's a really incredible opportunity to have in high school. You're not spending all this money going through college to work towards something that maybe you get into that and start those experiences, and then you're like, this isn't what I want to do. So they figure that out now.
The academies are increasing student engagement, attendance is up, GPAs are up, and discipline referrals are down.
The motivation of the kids is pretty special, and they're really excited about the program.
Having this opportunity to get this experience before they go out in the real world is amazing.
I love it. I just, no word can describe it. I love it.
And really this is about offering opportunities to our students in the ISD that they wouldn't get if they were in any other school district.
I apologize, that video clip was supposed to come just a little bit later. But that does give you a very good overview of the academies of the ISD. What I'd like to really emphasize in this, when we first started this 4 years ago, when we went to our parents with this, in our parents' minds, when they heard academies, they initially thought, okay, you want to make every kid go to a vocational school. And that really isn't the case. Then after we got into it, we had a lot of other parents come to us and say, well, this is all about sending kids off to college. This is really about both. A little bit of information about our district. We have nearly 14,500 students. We are growing as a community. We're about ready to break ground on our 20th elementary school. We have 2,200 staff members, and the reason I say this, we were the 19th school district in the nation to have the Ford Next Generation Learning Academy model. It is underwritten by the Ford Foundation, which is an arm of Ford Motor Company. But the reason I point this out is there is no one set way to do this. There are school districts as small as 1,200 kids, and there is Nashville, which is the largest one with nearly 100,000 students. Every school district adapts the academies that fits them. For us, what makes us unique, we are the only academy or the only school district in the United States where every single student is in an academy. It's not their choice. The reason that we did that, one was for equity in our school district, and the other thing, if we thought it was good for a handful of kids, why not expand this so that every student would have the ability to be part of an academy? Okay, as far as the college-bound students, we do offer 93 courses for college credit. That's what we will offer this next year with over 400 credit hours available. We do collaborate with seven different colleges and universities. We are very fortunate that we do have a community college within our community. So a great number of those dual credit hours are through Blue River Community College right there in our community. We have capstones within every academy. And here's the way that I had to explain this to our parents whenever we first started introducing this 3 years ago. Think of a university system. So within the university would be the independent school district. Well, within every university you have colleges, a college of education, a college of engineering, and so forth. We have the exact same thing, except we call our colleges academies, and we have 5 of those. Within every college, you have a major. We have the same thing, but ours are called pathways. So at the end of every pathway, and a pathway is simply, it's a series of courses that either lead to an associate's degree or an IRC. An IRC is an industry-recognized credential. An example of that, if you take your car to get it worked on, if you have an ASA mechanic, that's an IRC. So within every academy and then their pathway, at the end, during their junior and or senior year, they take a capstone course. So here's some examples of our capstone courses. If they're in the Arts and Education's Academy, they'll go into professions of teaching. We have our students basically have a student teaching experience their junior and or senior year. The Culinary Academy, we do have a capstone course. This past year, we did open All Things Independence. It's a commercial store that's 100% ran by our students. This upcoming school year, we're going to open a store. It's called A Taste of Independence. It is going to be a student-ran bakery. It combines our culinary academy with our business academy. We have our construction trades, which is part of our industrial technology academy. This past year, the kids, and I'm going to emphasize the kids, purchased, obviously using district money, purchased, remodeled, renovated, and then they're in the process of selling 2 homes that they flipped. And we're using a model that we patterned after Habitat for Humanity. It's called the Good Neighbors Program. So we're going to sell these 2 homes to either teachers, police officers, or firefighters. The bakery, which I did just reference, that's part of our business academy. My goal is in 2 years, and I do have a bank that is going to partner with us, we are going to open a student-run bank. And obviously there's pieces that our kids can't do that solely, so we do have a local bank that's very excited about this, and they're going to partner with us. Also we have, it's called My Arts. It's right off of the square there in Independence. It's a building that we're about ready to close upon, and within that building we will have a student-run art gallery. We will have an area for our robotics team. It'll be a full-size competition area. Within that, we're going to have our GED classes in that building. We're also going to have a student-run multimedia TV station in that area. We have physical therapy. Through our STEM Academy, we're going to partner with 2 different hospitals where our students will be able to go into the physical therapy or pre-physical therapy pathway. That's part of our bond issue that we just passed in the spring. And then also our students will be able to get Cisco networking certified. These are our industry partners. We have over 140, and you heard about some of them, the Royals, the Mavericks, Cornell Roofing, Burns and Mack. What's very important in this is not only do these companies offer internships for our kids, so during their junior or senior year, they offer externships for our teachers. And I think that may be just as important or maybe more so. We hear it all the time from our businesses. Well, you're not preparing the kids. We need them to be able to work with others better, to have the work ethic. Well, we went back to them and said, okay, if you're asking for these things, we need you to help us. We need you to offer opportunities for our kids to come out and see what a real work environment is, but also for our teachers to come out and work in your business so that they can better take back what you need to the classroom. So during the summer, our teachers will spend anywhere from 3 days to 2 weeks working with these businesses so they get ideas to take back to the classroom. Okay, All Things Independence, that's a student-run store. I have a short clip I'll show you on that. We did start that this past year. It is completely ran by the kids. The kids did everything from the marketing, all of the product that's within the store boundaries. They came up with the business plan. They staff it themselves. And you can see the hours Monday through Saturday. Our kids come in on Saturday to work the store. We have partnership with the Royals, the Chiefs, and the Mavericks. What's unique about this, if you would go to a Chiefs game, a Royals game, or a Mavericks game, when you walk into their team store, there's certain things that you can't get anywhere else other than at the stadium. Well, they have partnered with us. The only other place you can get it other than the stadium is within this store. So the store is really in 3 different parts. The front part of the store is a commercial business. It has Royals, Chiefs, Mavericks wear, but also Spirit apparel for each of our 3 high schools. The middle part is a classroom setting. So with the help of a teacher, the kids come up with the marketing plan, the social media plan. They do all of the work hours, the HR. And then in the back, we do have a commercial screen printing business. So we have a lot of companies within Independence in the area will put in orders to our kids that they want for their business for screen printing. We were lucky enough that we were named the Emerging Business of the Year for 2017 by the Economic Development Council for Independence, and as you've seen, we've had a lot of media attention on
And
this.
a new store is coming to the square in Independence, and it's all local.
This is a really cool story, but it's not the only thing to grab your attention. The management is unique,
Yeah.
too. It's called All Things Independence.
You are going to be so impressed. This is all about high school students. The store is something they created from the ground up, and they are proud of it.
The Van Horn shirts, we have jackets, hoodies.
Shelby Fordham is a junior at Truman High School and now store manager for All Things Independence. Business students from all three of the city's high schools created the store from the ground up. Everything from financing and accounting right down to the displays and merchandising.
Is it harder than you thought?
1,000 times harder.
The store sells gear for high school and professional teams. There are student-made products from woodworking and metal classes, even socks produced by a former student. More than anything else, this is a lesson in problem solving.
Like with every business, there's always problems. And something comes up, it doesn't go as planned. And then they're like, well, what do I do? And I said, I don't know. What do you do? You know, and they have to do that brainstorming and figure that piece out themselves.
In the classroom, it works perfectly theoretically, but in the real world, it doesn't always happen like that.
Instead of a boardroom, there's a classroom for the students' ongoing business education. And with the grand opening tomorrow, today's lesson is advertising. So here goes.
If you want to show off your independence pride, come here, because we have everything you need.
Okay, I'm hiring Shelby.
I think she's got it, don't you
job
think?
right away.
She's a junior, so they get to keep her. Yeah, I know. Now, already, grand opening is tomorrow, and already they're trying to expand. They've got all the equipment in place to start screen printing T-shirts, and so, of course, more students are now joining in to help with that effort.
Okay, they're going to make money at this. I don't think there's any. So what are they going to do with the profits?
Well, all they would say right now is that for now, it's all going right back into the store,
Okay.
right back into the business.
And the grand opening is tomorrow.
Yep, grand opening tomorrow, 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Good for them. I'm so
That's a great
impressed.
story.
I knew you would be impressed.
That's,
So impressed.
wow.
And Shelby that you see in that video, she was a junior this past year. She is going to run a Taste of Independence this next year. So she actually is, I guess you could say, the general manager and has oversaw throughout the summer all of the implementation of the store. So thank you very much. I do have more information. This shows you the course sequence that we have for all of our pathways. I have that up here if anybody would like to see it.
Okay, so now that you've heard from our 4 school districts, entities, about what they're doing, we're asking you folks to ask questions of them. Do you have any questions for them? I've got some microphone runners out here somewhere, perhaps. How about microphones out there in the field? Do we have mics? Chris has a microphone over here, and Steve has a microphone over here. So if anyone has questions for any of these people, from these 4 wonderful institutions that you've heard from today, let's have a question right now. I'm going to throw out the first question to get us started. What is in this for an employer? Why would an employer want to partner with you?
Why would mainly because they want that entry-level employee, and we're providing a product. Our product is a student, and our student for them is an employee for them. And the employer wants to interface with you just like you've heard 4 times here, basically, and even, Blaine said it. The employer wants to interface with you because they want you to know what they want out of us, out of that kid, when they go to work for them.
Hi. Joining with the students at the hospital has been a unique experience for us. We're able to teach them some skills, and we're seeing them get into career paths where they're going to come back to us. It's nice to have the students that live in our communities, and they talk about the program, and we see families come in that may not have chosen our hospital before, but they've heard about what their grandchild or niece or nephew has been doing with the program and wanted to give us a try. So it's a benefit for everybody.
I have that it'll produce better prepared workers for the businesses, and the students will already have the needed career-ready skills to be successful.
with us, what it's done for our employers, it has, at times I don't believe a lot of, I think, adults always understand what it was like to be a kid. And it has brought within our community a lot more, I think, empathy about what it's like to be a kid, but how great so many of our kids are. People so many times focus on the negative. Now these business people talk all the time about how wonderful our kids are. I think that's been very positive for us.
Wait for the microphone, Kim.
It is. Just based on the programs that you have now and knowing that there's a lot of STEM opportunities in Missouri, Kansas City, St. Louis, and outstate, are there programs that you currently have that you're going to expand or looking to expand based on what you're hearing from employers in your area?
Yeah, I would say one thing that's on our radar is logistics. So that seems to be something that's emerging in the St. Louis area. So we've got our pulse on trying to engage business partners this year through maybe getting our business students involved with that, engineering. So I'd say logistics is on our radar. Also, we've found a great interest in some of the programs we already have started. So the good thing about growth is it grows, but then you need more business partners and you have to figure out how to scale that. So healthcare is definitely one where we're continuing to try and grow our network because the demand is definitely there from students.
One of the, we try to be a little innovative at our place periodically, and sometimes that gets us in trouble with the State Department because they don't know what code to put us in. But we started this last year, or advertised this last year. We're actually going to start it next year, unmanned aircraft. We're going to start commercial drone training because that's projected to be a multi-billion-dollar industry in the near future. So we're actually still going to start training high school kids on drone training because the FAA has just recently came out with those regs. So now you know what those regs are for them to pass the test in order to become a commercial pilot. That's a new one.
So my question is for the Henry County students, and I want to hear your firsthand experience. This program that you've been through or participating in have had a hand in setting the direction for. How's that different than just the regular classroom? Better, worse? And how's that going to benefit you going after graduation? Thank you.
Okay. When we were coding, you had to use a lot of problem solving and everything like that, and it was different because I had never had any experience like that.
We had to really think about why something was going wrong, and our games, sometimes they wouldn't turn out how we wanted it, so we'd actually have to think about what we did wrong and go back to what we first did and figure out what was wrong. So it was kind of cool to figure out for ourselves instead of someone telling us.
I just I introduced it to keyboarding too, and I thought that was a good place to start with it, and we're going to do some more of it next year. But I think game design was motivating to them and something different that they don't usually get to do in the school setting. And it went over well. It was fun. They helped each other out. They got to peer evaluate each other's games. And I just sat back as more of a facilitator and watched it all unfold. And it was exciting, I think.
Sounds like we have time for one more. So I'm curious about those who went to the MU Innovation Lab, and what was that experience like? Who did you talk to? And I think it was the students who went there, so I'd be curious to continue to put them on the spotlight there to tell us more about what they learned there.
I'll probably have to speak to that. It was a team of our teachers that went and really learned a lot about the biomedical career pathway and opportunities for some Midwest entrepreneurship opportunities for our students and staff. It really opened up a whole new world for us in Windsor, Missouri. We're a rural school district, a wonderful school district, very supportive community. We're about 700 students strong. And so our students and staff really hadn't had the opportunity to visit the Innovation Center, which we're very excited about. It was like a big think tank almost type of organization, but learning about the different entrepreneurship programs available. That's where they got to visit a little more about the Genius Hour as well, where we have the opportunity for our students to research something that they're passionate about and try to make real-world relevant learning opportunities for our students. That's what's been so special about this Career Pathways grant, and thank you to DESE for that, because it's brought awareness to our students and our staff. We know coding's the new foreign language. We're all going to have to be able to learn, even the very basics. We will have to know how to code. So that's one area that we're expanding in our curriculum.
Thank you, Christy. Thanks for the questions from the floor. Let's have a round of applause for our panelists today. And folks, as we wrap this up, I just want to make sure that you know there are so many wonderful things going on in our state right now in these areas of advanced manufacturing and IT and healthcare. For example, in Washington, D.C. this last spring, Summit Innovation Academy from Lee Summit won a nationally recognized award for excellence in their cybersecurity program. Now think about that. High school kids working in a cybersecurity program. They were the #1 program in the United States in that area. So congratulations to Lee Summit and all those people who are participating. If anybody's from Lee Summit, let's give them a round of applause because they did a great job. What you heard today, and you heard it repeatedly, is that business and industry folks are willing to engage with educators. I heard it from Dale, I heard it from Christy, I heard it from Rich, I heard it from Travis. Business and industry folks are out there. They are willing to engage and offer relevant opportunities for teachers and students to get out there and see what's going on. They are craving interaction with us, folks. So please, please, please make sure that you do that. To wrap this up, I'm going to ask you one question, each of you, from each entity. I'm a parent in your school district. We meet in Walmart. We meet on an elevator. Give me your best 30-second speech about why I ought to send my child to your program. Let's start down there with Dale. We'll work our way across the front of the room. Why should my kid go to your school and participate in this program?
We offer opportunities in the independent school district that you will not receive in any other school district, probably in the state, if not the nation. This isn't just for kids who want to go into vocational school, or on the flip side, if you believe your child is college bound, we offer the opportunities that they're going to be able to explore to decide which track that they need to fit.
I did this ahead of time. Your child will have the opportunity to learn technology and computers while engaged in creative and innovative experiences, using if-then, problem-solving, critical thinking, and troubleshooting skills. And we're really pushing STEAM in our curriculum and excited about it.
Elevator speech. I'm a Career Center guy, so I service 10 districts in my particular area and 12 schools when you count the 2 private schools that send students to our institution. At the same time, our increasing number of homeschool students that attend career education is huge at the Career Center level. What I would say to you, number one, your student can get involved in any career that they wish to get into. One of the things that I think, if I could take one thing out of every parent's, teacher's, and administrator's mouth, is the word college, and replace it with post-secondary education. Along that continuum, if they get 1 year additional training beyond or whatever that is, they are now a more employable human being. And that more employable human being turns into a tax-paying citizen, which does not end up on our social welfare rolls. That's why we want you at the Career Center. That's very important to everyone that we do, because that's a part of the economic